Okay, I see it.
Okay, then, whoops.
Okay,
Okay, you see the location inset?
yes, sir. And you've got a word that's,
Okay, now you see those
uh-huh,
that just appeared?
right.
I don't know if now they're gone.
Yeah, there's something about the refresh on that. If we, I think if we take this viewport and send it to the back, I wonder if that'll fix it for us. Not really. Let me take a look at this. Where we say paper space last, we're not saying hide paper space entity, so that should all be okay. All right, now. Well, that seemed to have fixed it.
Now, where did you go to do that again?
I went down here to the
Right click.
and right clicked and chose page setup manager.
Yeah.
I went to modify and I said print paper space last. Now, what I suspect would have happened if I did not turn that on, it would have, I think when we printed it, it still would have printed okay, but it wound up not.
Well, the one PDF I printed to send to the client for them to look at, it did not print.
Okay.
It did not show up on the PDF.
All right, so I'm going to select those words and change their color to specifically be white. And that's going to make them look black, I think. All right, so let's make it. We choose. There we go. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. No, I'm just getting the corners of that polyline that we drew to match the corners of the viewport so that nothing's sticking out underneath it. I think we're in good shape with all that now. There we go. Well, I think that'll fix it.
Looks good.
So, yep, and there's your offset property needed. Looks like everything's good to go. Well, I mean, as you finish up, make sure you get your seal in there and all that.
Yeah. Let me ask you another totally unrelated question.
Okay, I just hit save, by the way.
Okay, you did? Okay.
Yep.
You showed me a command one time, like if you have a bunch of straight lines and you want to make the vertex a curve,
Yes.
how do you do that?
All right. Just draw, we'll just zoom in here just as a little scrap area. Go ahead and draw a polyline. It has to be a 2D polyline when you draw it, okay? All right, and just finish that up with enter, enter. Now, when you select it, you'll get the grips. Now, you see the midpoint grips, the little skinny ones?
Yeah.
Hover over one of them. Right now you're on a vertex. Go to a midpoint grip. There you go. And see where it says convert to arc.
Oh, yeah.
And when you do that, then you need to place where it is you want that arc to be. Okay, and you just graphically show it.
Okay, so you can't do it, you can't make an arc in here then, like that.
No, you mean like replace that point? No. So
Yes.
what you would do in that regard is you would hover over here and say, remove that vertex. Okay, and so now you can convert that to an arc and place it, wherever.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is something that is really, that I found really useful. I'll go ahead and delete that. When I'm doing things that I don't have to worry a whole lot about maintaining tangency necessarily.
Right.
And like when I'm trying to trace, say, a road, and I would do something like this maybe. And I would go like a click, and I would come up to the PC and click a point, and go over to the PT and click a point. And then let's say call that PC and call that PT, and then on down here. And then I would just select those, convert to arc, and then just sort of eyeball them in there.
Yeah.
So it keeps me from having to worry about trying to, force a tangent curve and all of that. Now, if you need to make a tangent curve, certainly you can do that with the draw 2D polyline command. As you're clicking around, you see one of the options down here at the bottom is arc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to say arc now, see it goes ahead and maintains that tangency. It assumes that I want it to be tangent. And so now it's I could say then extend, and then pick a point. And it asks me, do I want to extend the arc or tangent? So I'd say, let's extend with a tangent. See, so now that curve is actually in there tangent to those two segments.
Right.
So yeah, now that only works with 2D polylines. Like if you have a 3D polyline, of course, it won't, those midpoint grips don't show up like that.
Right.
All right. Let's see, what is this old? Should that word be country?
Yes. Count. Yeah, it should be country.
All right, so let's put a. There we go. All righty.
Okay,
And about it.
what's your, would you have time now to help me set up Carlson 2022,
Sure. Yeah.
version 22?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me close this then,
All righty.
and I will open 122. Boy, they really try to get you, these people. I just got a text message that says, "Dear customer, your order number 55796 is confirmed. You will be charged $679.55 from your card. Call Amazon on
Uh-huh.
1888 now to cancel."
Yep. You got to be careful with those.
Yep.
My poor mother gets those all the time, and I have to tell her, man, please stop.
Okay, so I guess I can open any file, huh?
Yep.
Or do I have to open a file?
Well, either way or a new one. All righty. Now, the very first thing I notice is the colors, and that's because you're not using the same plot table. So what we have to do is find out what plot table it's using on the page setup. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom at merger plat. I'm going to do page setup manager, and I'm going to look over here at modify. I'm going to see up here in the upper right, it's looking for RMS mono grayscale, but it says missing. So that's the file I want to have, and I want it to be found by this version. Okay. So RMS mono grayscale CTB. So what we're going to do is I'm going to close that and minimize this. And I'm going to go here to your file manager. And let's find up here in the upper right, RMS mono, was it?
I don't remember.
Anyway, I think where it is, it's here. Let me see.
Would it be in the print styles folder?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Here we go. Print styles. There it is. So I'm going to just simply copy that, right click and copy. And I'm going to put it in that same place in Carlson 22. All right, so that should fix that. Now, when we come back to this, a simple regen ought to be able to find that. see. General. There we go. So, so that's where a lot of things that are going to probably not make the trip are going to be settings or support files that exist over in that 2021 subdirectory that we had to put over in the 2022 subdirectory. Now, one way to make your Carlson settings transfer is if you, let's leave 2021 running here for a minute. And now go back and run your 2020, we'll leave 2022 running for the moment. Go back and run your 2021. And just open up any file or create a new one. It doesn't matter which, once it gets there. We're not going to save any of this work, but so while you're here now, if you, to transfer your Carlson settings, go up to the settings menu and choose Carlson configure. And now right there, just hit save as and put that anywhere you want to put it, even on the desktop or wherever you want to, someplace where you can find it again. And just call it 2021 Carlson settings or something like that. And hit save. And then cancel that. And exit. And now you can minimize or quit entirely this version. Now go back to that version and go back to Carlson configure. Under settings menu. Okay. And when that comes up, you want to choose load and choose that back from the desktop. 20, where do we put it?
I don't see it. You know what we did? Sorry. Tell you what we did once we get it back up there. We had it ready to go. We had it named, but I told you to escape or to exit that previous, and we had actually neglected to hit the final save button. Oh yeah, I don't care about that. Let's see now. Settings. Well, let's just, well, let's put it in desktop. That right there is what we neglected to do.
now then from 2022. Okay, so that should have brought over the settings from the previous, and those settings are things like all the boxes and stuff you had set up for your dialog boxes and such. Now, things like up here where your tool, where your ribbon is,
Yeah,
if you don't want to use the ribbon, you can say switch to menu bar. And so that'll go away. And now as for the ribbons that, or the toolbars that you are using, the only thing we can do with that, you're supposed to be able to do this, but it doesn't work. These toolbars. Right. I think this setup should work. No, not that. Settings. Toolbar manager. Yeah, here we should be able to save the toolbar file. And that will also put out here on the desktop. And then switch back to 2022. And we should be able to load right here. But I don't think this works exactly correctly. We'll see. Well, look like it may have. So let's see. Here's 2021.
something slightly different because it pushes out further to the right.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one here. It's the layers. Let me see. It may just simply be a size. So there's that, and then 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one, and then there. Yeah, I think it's just I think these boxes are just bigger in that particular version of the toolbar. Now this tool palette is out here for 2022. If you like using the tools from there, like these are like menu headings, and some of the commands on those like polyline tools, you know, remove segment, all that. If you like using those from this interface, that's fine to keep that out there. If you don't want to use it though, you can just close it right here with that X.
Okay, let me fool with it for a few days and see if I like it.
Yeah, and also you notice, you see how those prompts show up at the cursor?
Yeah.
That is from down here where you've got this box right here, dynamic input.
Yeah.
Double click that off, then they no longer show up.
Yeah.
Double click it on, then they're there. They're just on by default. Okay, so that should be pretty much the same setup now. You can see here's 2022. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the 4 on the left are the same. let me see. And yeah, it looks like they've just made the fields bigger. Is the reason it looks pushed out.
Okay,
All right.
very good.
Okey-doke. Let's see, let's get back to, all right, this is 2021. I'm going to close this and not save that because it was read only. And now you're back in 2022 that you'd opened up with.
Right.
All righty.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You are most welcome. You take care until next time.
Yep, you too. Hope your knee gets better soon.
Well, thank you. I'll, like I said, I finally got a doctor's appointment from, closest they could do is get me into their nurse practitioner on Wednesday. So,
Don't you have urgent care up there?
well, we do, and I've got an ER and all of that I could go into, but I mean, I hate using those services as my doctor's office. And but I told the doctor's office when I made the appointment, I said, look, I understand everybody's busy and I know, and I certainly can appreciate what's going on with this, but this is why people do that. And I hate to, I don't like to use emergency services and all that when it's not a true emergency. I'd need to be able to get in to see my doctor. And I called to get an appointment with my doctor, and they said the first availability was like April 23rd. And I said, that's insane. So, they said, well, we know everybody's just really busy. It's well, yeah. So, but
That's the way it is these days, I'm afraid.
yeah, I know it.